want to talk about the flow of a week and how you perceive and how you approach it. So I had a discussion today with a colleague here at work. We were talking about, people who are like, it's Tuesday, it's Wednesday, it's so far to the weekend. And I'm like, so you're betting like your entire week is all about those 2 days when you have off. So that means you have 5 days every week that you're like, it's kind of like people who just like, I only have, 4 or 5 weeks of vacation. It's in the summer. It's 6 months away. Think about all the time you're wasting just blah, 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 blah. So today I want to talk about the way I approach these topics. And I think I've said this before. This first one is the fact that, if you're going to make plans that doesn't involve, heavy drinking or ways that you might not be fully operational to work the next day, don't put everything on weekends. If you have the chance, if you don't have a schedule that's all tied up when it comes to, after school activities or after work or kids or doing all that, plan stuff on Tuesday nights. Okay, Tuesday night we're gonna meet up with people. We're gonna meet up with some friends, and we're gonna have a good time. And it'll almost be like on Sundays, like, I can't wait for Tuesday because on Tuesday I'm meeting up with those people and we're gonna have some fun. I mean, not everyone has a McLaren pub downstairs that you can sit in every single day, or I guess the finance for it either. But planning things to happen not just on the weekends, but actually, during the weekdays, because then you actually have something to look forward to if you're in a position where you don't absolutely love what you do for a living. If you work, I don't know, we're all different, we all have different approaches to what we can do in life and what we can do with the time that we spend on this earth. So that's sort of that's the big one. That's how I approach things. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be meeting up with friends. There is a reality out there that some people don't have a best friend. Some people aren't close to the people around them. I mean, I used to live in Bergen, Norway, and sure, I had flatmates, but we had different approaches to life, and we would sit and watch TV or whatever. But it's not like I went out partying with them. And while I was there, I did feel very lonely. And ironically enough, that's when I started doing this. That's when I started filming myself to at least let the people back home in Sweden know that I was having a good time, because I was obviously editing out everything that wasn't, woo, 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 because I wouldn't want anyone to feel that Martin is not having a good time over there in Norway. And it rains a lot there. And ironically, that led to me having this amazing community of people, not just people watching me, but friends, people I've gotten to know because of what I do. So it doesn't have to be something that's connected to other people. It can be like, okay, so on Tuesday night or Wednesday afternoon, I'm going to go to that part of town. I've never been in that part of town. I'm going to walk around there. I'm going to look at buildings. I'm going to soak in, that tree has been there for 50, 60, 70, 100 years. That building has been there for, I know, it sounds crazy. I know. It's all about this, awareness and nature and stuff, and it doesn't have to involve substance. Your choice. But it doesn't have to involve substance, but just experiencing things. I mean, that's why I love traveling, because when you travel, you go to new places. And sure, I can go to another, location in town, but when I go abroad, people speak other languages. People eat other types of food. People, and also, I mean, as a traveler, when I get out of my comfort zone, the place I live in, I become more open. I become more curious about things because I am sort of out of my depth. And, obviously there's a difference between being in Dubai, which was for me something very different, as opposed to going to, Australia or United States, which are places that I'm very, comfortable or I can relate to, because that's sort of been part of my upbringing, my popular culture influence. So yes, try to make the best of, they say carpe diem, catch the day, but try to make plans around stuff that you love to do, whether that be meeting up with friends or planning to go to that activity, whatever that is, bowling or pool or whatever. Or I'm really looking forward, I'm going to go watch that movie. I'm going to read that book. I'm just going to have, a quiet night at home with myself. And I'm going to have all the snacks. I'm going to have all the ice cream. And I'm going to have everything that makes me feel good. Give yourself something to look forward to. Because expectation is also part of the thrill. Because it heightens your system. It's like, I mean, tonight, I'm in the studio right now. And I could almost, I can't touch because there's glass and there's a hallway and another glass. But my friend Colin is very close, and in a couple of minutes we're going to leave the office. We're going to go over to her place, and we're going to make a Swedish kladdkaka, a mud cake, which was for a video that came out a week or two ago on the Swedish Lad channel. And I've been looking forward to doing that because, one, I get to hang out with her outside of the office. We get to hopefully do a really nice mud cake, maybe ordering a pizza or something. And it is in the middle of the week. It's a Wednesday when this is filmed. So, yeah. Instead of, and I know, I've been in the fog. I've been in a place where so much of what is happening around me feels pointless for me. It's like I'm not part of it, It's like, the Radiohead song, "What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here." I've been there. And it's not something that just because I do this goes away. It's something that's part of who I am. And I can work on it, and I can hopefully get better at handling it. And hopefully, I don't know, by luck, not end up in those kinds of situations all too much for the rest of my life, the time I have left. But I can also, just try to look into myself. Try to realize that I'm a person who does not want to become bitter. It's all perception. They say that, I've said this before, the poorest people are those who are the most sad. That's not necessarily the truth. People say, if only I have money, then everything would be fine. And I say, well, some things, there'll be some things that you don't have to worry about, but money is, it's true. Money doesn't buy your happiness. It can provide you with possibilities. But still, once you have it, you're like, okay. And then you start getting, anxious because now if you have money, I'm not saying I have money, but when you have money on payday, then you're like, okay, so how do I channel this? What do I do now? What's my goal from here? Yeah. Make the best of every week that you have left for you. Make plans. Be curious. Look around the world. What is there for me to discover? If I don't have money, if I can go to another place in the city by bike, or if I have money, what happens if I fly to a country I've never been over a weekend? I'd love to go to like Tashkent just for a weekend, just because I know very little of that city, other from like a Swedish song where they sing about it because it rhymes. What if I went there for 3 or 4 days and just soaked it all in, seeking discomfort, yeah. I think that was sort of all I had to say. I'm really pumped up. I'm excited because we're going to leave in a minute, and I'm pretty sure the sugar rush will not decrease from here. But I hope that you can make sense of some of the things that I wanted to touch upon. I really hope you do. Good talk.